because Embiid, we've talked about that. He's just done physically as a player. You know what I mean? And we're screwed, but you have to close this season and just say it's over with, because the worst place in the NBA to be, the absolute worst place to be in the NBA is the 11 through 14, which is where we're at, because that's like out of the play-in and out of the best odds to be in a top draft pick. You know what I mean? And that's where we're at. You're in no man's land. Shut everybody down and get the out of here. Hide the kids and the wives and everybody, and just close the season out. Close the arena. Put fans in the game and just close the season out. What are you doing here? I'm wearing the jacket. I just want to do a check-in. Just want to tell people how I'm feeling here. You know, we lose Philadelphia 76ers lose tonight. Lost in overtime to the New York Knicks, and beat out again. I've had people asking me for the last 2 weeks. This is the toughest year for me to process and evaluate for the Philadelphia 76ers. Number one, I had such high hopes in the beginning of the year, off season. I do believe that the GM front office, they made all of the moves that I would have fucking made. You know, again, another great move, bringing in Yabu. Ershon Abaseli from overseas. Remember, we were in a text thread, and I was so excited that we got him.
Yeah,
and remember, Juan was like, he didn't work out in Boston. He's just because X, Y, and Z. He's not a good, this is why he doesn't work in the NBA. And I was like, nah, man, it's just basketball. It's not, it's not anything crazy. Guys get better, and I could see, you can just, if you look at the fucking game and you just see, I don't know how he was in Boston. I wasn't aware of him at all, but I looked at him.
Ever in Boston, I don't think he ever had a regular, consistent role.
Maybe so, but maybe I think what really happened is he just got better. I think that's what happened, and an opportunity probably, of course, plays a part in it a lot. But he's been really good, a really good pickup, and all of that. But all in all, now a decision needs to be made, and a decision needs to be made to just fucking close the season out, because a mistake was made in extending Embiid when you didn't have to. All right, so now you have an injury-plagued player that you're going to have for an additional 3 years for just no reason at all. You didn't have to give him an extra 2 to 3 years at a fucking $60 to $70 million a year. You didn't have to do that. So that's a mistake. And before the season started, you did that. You give Maxey a max. You had to do that for 2 reasons. Number one, he's a good player. Number two is because he did go a year without that max contract to make room for Paul George. I understand that, but that's tough because he's a unique player, okay? And then Paul George is coming over here. He's playing good defense, but he's an older player. He's not the same player on offense. What all of that all equals to? A shit show in a shit house, because Embiid, we've talked about that. He's just done physically as a player. You know what I mean? And we're screwed, but you have to close this fucking season and just say it's over with, because the worst place in the NBA to be, the absolute worst place to be in the NBA is the 11 through fucking 14, which is where we're at. Because that's out of the play-in and out of the best odds to be in a top draft pick. You know what I mean? And that's where we're at. You're in no man's land. Shut everybody down and get the fuck out of here. Hide the kids and the wives and everybody, and just close the season out. Close the arena. Put fans in the game and just close the season out. What are you doing here? Okay? You see Embiid is physically unable to play. Why are you playing with us saying, he's out tonight, he may play next week, or he may play tomorrow, and we haven't seen him in a month? Just end it. put a gun to your head and just unalive yourself. It's over. What are we doing? Okay? That's the plan. Because if we get an outside top 3 or top 5 pick, we can't even use it. We can only use our pick if it's top 3. If it's not top 3, it goes to OKC, if I'm not mistaken. If it goes to another team, who gives a shit?
OKC, for real?
It's one team. I'm pretty sure it's OKC. If it's not OKC, who even gives a shit? It's not us.
If they could win the West and get a 4 or 5 pick in the draft,
yeah,
that's fantastic.
So yeah, to our dismay, it may not be OKC. I'm sorry, but whatever the case is. If we don't get it, you know what I'm saying? If we don't finish with a top 3 pick, it doesn't. We don't get to retain it. So what are you doing? You know, Maury, like it's time, man. It's time. We had enough. We damn near at the midpoint. We know what this team is, and it's not going to make a deep playoff run. It's not. It's just not.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, then you're basically like sitting out healthy guys.
Yes. Yeah. You're sitting out healthy guys.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing.
That's kind of a disgrace.
We're a disgrace now. At least we can be a disgrace with a top 3 pick. Can we do that? I'd rather that. If you tell me disgrace with a top 3 pick, what do you do? Come on, man. Can I get that?
If I'm the fucking commissioner, I sanction the fuck out of this.
We've already been sanctioned. We got sanctioned the first time, and all of that. Fuck it. We're bad guys. We're bad men. We're very bad people. We've done it before. Do it again. The odds of people who go to prison for long sentences, when they get out, the odds are they're going the fuck back in. That's what we are. Buy into it. We done it. We were the last team who really stunk on purpose.
What was the name of the dude that came up with that?
It's my savior, my hero, Sam Hinkie.
Sam Hinkie. What's he doing now?
He was always like business. He's in business.
Oh, he's not connected to basketball in any way.
It's sports 0%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was never a sports guy to begin with.
Sam Hinkie.
Yeah, Sam Hinkie, man. That's who I pray to at night.
Really?
And that's who. And also, actually, him and Maury are really good friends. So it's really disturbing that he's not taking this model because it's time, man. It's time. Pull the plug. Your loved one, he can't speak, he can't talk, he can't move his fingers. His toes are not moving.
Put him out of his misery.
For the past 9 months. What are you waiting for? It's time.
I don't know, man.
Put me out of my misery, man. I can't get to the last 2 weeks of the season and we're 2 games back of the play-in. And I gotta hope and pray that we come on, man. That's what you want us to be? That's what you want us to hope in? That's the position you want the fans in? Yeah, that's if it wasn't for the Chiefs, I don't know what I'd do with myself. I don't know. Okay. I don't know. At least the fucking Gators have some type of positive outlook. The 76ers are just geez Louise, man.
But it is fun. I mean, like they bring in Yabu, they draft McClain. They made a lot of good moves. I mean, they closed the deal on Paul George, which felt like a good move at the time.
Yeah.
But again, like you still look at these things, and it's like it really all hinges on Embiid.
It really does.
He's not reliable. If he was giving them like he gave for the first 40 games last year, you're probably third in the East.
This team looks completely different. It's so crazy how over the past 8 years that he's been prominent and on his team, no matter the cast, we've had really great players or players that played great while they were here. But if you just remove Embiid, the team is a bottom 3 to 4 team in the East. All you do is remove him.
Yeah, but like
with Maxey, with George, with Yabu, with McCain, with like James Harden, Ben when he was here and playing well, Tobias for whatever you believe of him. all of these guys who are capable and play
There's
well.
two ways to look at it. It's kind of like if the team's really just kind of structured with Embiid, and when he's not there, you're just missing too much to compete. Or the other side of it is really looking to the bench and the coaching. And it's like, you kind of know you're not going to have Embiid every game. Like, is there no other way of playing with these other players that's going to keep you consistently competitive? And
Yes and no. I get to a point because like I'm in the 76ers group and now everybody is like down on the coach or whatever. But it's like, yeah, but how many coaches can I really like fucking blame and say they're terrible? Every year I fire the coach and it's Doc and it's whatever, the guy who what I'm saying, who's not even in fucking basketball anymore. It was the coach before. Like I don't know. I don't know how many coaches I can blame. You know what I mean? But and then you look at that, right? And you look at some of the teams ahead of us. Like Chicago, Atlanta, Detroit, Miami, Indiana. I'm finna make a point.
Yeah.
Indiana, Miami, Detroit, Atlanta, Chicago. I guarantee you, before the season starts, every last single of one of those franchises would take our roster without Embiid over their current roster. On paper, that's just a better team.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, there's got to be something going on that they're not. Like, again, if I'm coaching the Sixers, I'm going into it thinking if we have 60 Embiid games, that's a win. But I'm also looking at that schedule, or that season, and go, assume we're without him for 22. I got to have a default way of playing that's going to get me, at least, let's say, 12 wins out of those 22 games. Keep me above 500, and then hopefully when we have Embiid, we're several games above 500 and we have a good season. Like, so I don't know. Like, you kind of have that mentality already that you're not going to have him for 75 or 80 games, and that you're going to have to find ways to win on nights when you don't have the right guys. Now, sometimes it can be like a method or a way of playing that you play differently without the big guy and kind of focus other guys, maybe do some other things. Sometimes you just kind of have I think the Magic got it a little bit, where they just have this like belief, like whoever's available tonight, we're going to war. We're going to play our ass off.
You know what I think?
And you kind of find a way to be in games and find a way to win them.
Where I'm at with it, I don't think these guys are as good as we think these guys are.
What guys are we talking about?
Tyrese Maxey.
Oh, yeah, the Sixer players.
Yeah. Tyrese Maxey. Everyone will agree on Paul's behalf.
Yeah.
The main culprits, because outside of that, the Yabu and McCain, they play well. They look good.
And
Why can't Maxey be as good and efficient without Embiid as one with them? I understand, it's because of Embiid draws so many double teams, so that's why Maxey can shoot 40% above from three when he's there. And without him, does it have to go down to fucking 15? Like damn.
Yeah, I mean that's something there to certainly, like, again, if you can't play without him, then you kind of, I mean, if that's part of the truth of it, then
You're
it's
not
like,
a max
we
player.
should have never paid this guy
You're not
the
a max
money
player.
we did.
It looks different when Embiid is there for guys like Maxey, for George, and it just shouldn't be that if you're a max player. It just shouldn't be that.
No,
at least I knew exactly what I was going to get from Tobias, whether Embiid was there or not.
Yeah.
Against the bad teams, he's going to give me 15 to 16. Against the good teams, he's going to give me 0 to 5. At least I know that.
Yeah.
But these guys, I just don't know, and that's the problem.
Yeah, if you're an aspiring guy trying to be an all-star or whatever, like you've got to, when you're fully healthy, you got to make your team competitive night in and night out. And I don't think Maxey's met his part of the bargain on that.
No, but again, it just feels sucky, and to just have somebody to blame every year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That just I don't want to be that guy. You know what I'm saying? Every year.
Yeah.
So it's just whatever. Fucking shut it down. And I'm fine with Maxey next year and all of these guys, and I'm stuck with them anyway, whether I'm fine or not. Unless I'm just going to become a fan of another team, which you would recommend.
Yes, I would.
And,
Well, because
I know.
Like again, look at everything you've said about the Sixers and what you want them to do. So basically, like, if they do what you want, they're an unwatchable mass of shit the rest of the way for another 40 games. It's like, why would I want to consider myself a fan of that? Like, I'll check back in with you when you're relevant and good. Like, I haven't forgotten that, but I need to go watch a team that is playing good basketball, that competes night in and night out. That's what I want to see.
That's for sure.